You and your comrades erase the majority of life on the planet, but you end up hurt, tired, and lose your consciousness. You wake up in a recovery chamber on your planet, but you notice something different. Your body has another unusual property, the Zenkai boost. This allows you to increase your power level after recovering from near-fatal injuries. The more severe the damage, the greater the power increase. It's an adaptation that makes perfect sense for warrior species. Every battle that doesn't kill you makes you stronger, creating a population that grows more powerful through surviving combat. But the mechanism has a dark side that shapes how Saiyans approach training and combat. You think that the optimal path to power isn't through disciplined practice or technique refinement. It's through getting hurt, badly, and repeatedly. The Zenkai boost rewards self-destruction, so you start to see value in injuries that bring you close to the edge of death, because you know that if you survive, recovery will only make you stronger. You begin to seek out fights against opponents who are more powerful than you are, not because you're confident in their ability to win, but because you want to be more powerful. You even orchestrate your own near deaths, having allies or medical staff hurt you to the edge of dying before healing you, creating artificial Zenkai boosts. Over time, you develop a strange relationship with your own mortality. Death becomes less frightening, not because you're brave, but because you've been conditioned to see it as just a failure state in a gamble you're taking for power gains. But the worst part is, the Zenkai boost becomes less and less efficient with time. After a certain point, the boosts become less significant. All that suffering, all those near-death experiences, eventually stop providing meaningful gains. But by then, the damage to your psychology is already done. You continue to grow in power and survive more missions until you reach the peak of your youth around 20 years old. Saiyans stay looking the same until they're around 80 years old. So you'll stay like this almost until you die. However, because you're now in your prime, it's time to have children. You want to breed great warriors, so you look for a woman who possesses strong character, which would in turn better your chance to have powerful sons. But Saiyan culture isn't just emotionally cold. It's actively designed to prevent emotional bonds. Relationships exist primarily as transactional agreements. Partnerships form for reproduction purposes, specifically to produce strong children who can carry on the warrior legacy. Sometimes these relationships have political dimensions, establishing alliances between families or factions. But the idea of choosing a partner because of love or happiness isn't something you can expect. You have a son, but just like you, he will grow without you. Even though he's still your son and you want to teach him to be a great warrior, the Saiyan lifestyle is not designed for that. Like the other Saiyan warriors, you'll spend the majority of your time on remote conquest missions, traveling alone or with small squads to distant planets. These assignments last months or years, during which you have essentially no contact with anyone you could care about. When you finally return to Planet Vegeta, it's usually just long enough to report your success, receive new orders, maybe produce another child, and then you're gone again. The concept of building a life with someone is impossible when you're constantly being deployed to opposite ends of the galaxy. It would be extremely unusual for a mother to show care for their child. The rare Saiyan woman who expresses worry about their child or tries to maintain some kind of connection is often viewed as suspicious. This kind of behavior is seen as a softness, almost like an infection that could spread if not contained. Most Saiyan children grow up not knowing their fathers at all. They might be aware that a particular warrior is their biological parent, but there's no relationship there. Brothers might be aware of each other's existence, but never actually meet or fight side by side. Titles like grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles only exist as technical genetic words. There's no family gatherings, no shared traditions, no sense of belonging to something larger than yourself. You are fundamentally alone, surrounded by other Saiyans who are also alone and think that this isolation is actually strength. You're expecting a child, but the reality is that you'll never get to meet it. You get sent to worlds that are considered beneath the attention of elite fighters. Places where the indigenous population is weak enough that even a Saiyan with relatively modest power can eventually conquer. The missions are long, often lasting months or years, and they're undertaken with minimal support. If you succeed, you might get a brief acknowledgement before being shipped off to your next assignment. If you fail, nobody is coming to rescue you. You'll just be marked as a failure and sent the next low-class warrior to finish what you started. But the truth about your life as a Saiyan warrior is that